All right. So we are live now. Let me get this thing started. There we go. Okay. So I'm Mike, and you're watching Spiritual Combat. And today, what we're talking about is wives and women and submission and how to make your wife respect you and submit to you. And what a lot of people don't know is that this is biblical. Um, it's funny. I was at the gym and a guy came up to me and his mother-in-law was in town and he was just telling me about what he was going through and he was like, you know what, Mike? He was like, I thought marriage was supposed to be good and fun, but it's like a nightmare. Like I don't understand what are the benefits of being married. He's like, it seems like more of a hassle and everything like that. And I told him, and this is the reason why is because this society, this beast world system, has turned everything upside down. Satan's operating behind the scenes, and he's turned everything the Bible says completely opposite. Um, Marriage and the male role and the female role in marriage has been completely twisted upside down. And even right now, Satan is in the process of doing that with everything. He during this in America the past couple of years, they've turned homosexuality completely upside down. I just read something yesterday. The World Health Organization just removed, and this is maybe a couple weeks ago, they removed being a transgender person. They removed that from being a mental issue or whatever. So now it's normal, but everything is completely turned upside down. That's what Satan does. And he's done the same thing with marriage and male female roles. Okay. So let's go to a Bible verse real quick. Go ahead and pull it up. It's First Timothy. Let me make sure I got the right one. Yep. It's First Timothy chapter 3 verse 4. Okay. I'll pull it up here so we can read it. Okay. All right. There we go. And it says, 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 4 says, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. Okay. And it says, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? Okay. And then we have another verse, Ephesians um, chapter 5, verse 23 through 26. And we're going to read through this and we're going to kind of break it down. But it says, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. And let's pull up the definition of subject or subjection or whatever. And it says, being in a position or in circumstances that place one under the power or authority of another or others. Okay? So, right there, what I read, you know, I already know that, there's a bunch of women and they're out there looking just like this. This is what they're looking like right now, you know? Because this goes directly against, the brainwashing of this society. Um, this society tells uh, women, hey, you're equal. You could do it as good as better or better. Don't let no man do this, that, and the other. Y'all the same and all this stuff like that. When uh, it's perfectly obvious that they're different. They have, um, they have the things they're good at. Men have the things that they're good at and they're designed for. Women are designed to do certain things and they're good at them. and men are designed to do certain things, and they're just naturally good at them. But because of this society, because of the programming from media and everything out there, these things have been twisted upside down. You got a lot of men out there got their wires twisted, think they females acting feminine. Um, there's just when you look at the divorce rates, and not even the divorce rates, look at the people who are just not satisfied in marriage, and look at the homes that are just a disaster. You can see that something is twisted. There's some wires crossed somewhere, and there's a bunch of issues, and nowhere are there more issues than in the black race. I look at a lot of these, like for instance, I do a lot of videos on relationships, and I was on Facebook looking for groups, like relationship groups, to post some of my videos, just so people could get some advice and everything. And searching for a group for, black relationships is crazy, because when you type it in, it's black men looking for Asian girls, black men looking for white girls, black girls looking for white men, black girls in the Asian men, and that's what came up first. It was almost impossible to find a group of black men looking for black women or something like that. It took a while for me to actually come across it, because the black women are fed up with black men, and the black men are fed up with black women, So it's just, and it's because, and it's most evident in our race, because, we just got, we are the tribe, we are the Hebrews. So when something's bad in this society, it hits us the worst every time. And of course, you always hear about, the angry black woman and all that stuff like that, and you see these black women, all this attitude and all this stuff like that. And you got to ask, so where is that coming from? Well, and I agree, black women are hard to deal with, majority of them. But it is not their fault. The responsibility always lies on a man for the leadership. And in the majority of black women's lives, the men have failed them. And the stat now is up to 1 in 2. 1 out of 2 black women have been molested or raped or something by the time they turn, I think like 18, 19, or 20. You could look it up on Google. But that's a big part of it. These women coming from these broken homes, And then what happens, you get in a relationship with them, and it's just a disaster. They don't respect you. They don't know what their role is. There's no authority or anything like that. Majority of the men have come from broken homes. They've been raised by women, so they're kind of feminized on how to deal with women. They haven't seen a good, positive biblical model of family, so they don't know how to deal with them. So a lot of men I run into, when their wife jumps on them and comes at them all crazy, and she looking like this or she looking like this, they just kind of cower down, and they do what she says. And that's the way I was. And you know what? Majority of all the way up to I was about 30, I didn't have any successful relationships. So we're gonna get into the core of what this video is about. This video is about how to make a woman respect you, righteous respect, righteous biblical respect, and how to make her subject, get in her spot, and understand her role. And of course, the feminazis are getting fired up and already like, well, that ain't right. Hey, go to another channel. You ain't got to watch this. But what I'm telling is pure truth. I can back it all up with the Bible, and I will while I go through this video. But let's get into it. The first thing, women are attracted to assertiveness. When a, you when a you, so that let me pull that definition up real quick, just so we could all right, yeah, assertiveness. There we go. All right. So here we go. We got the definition for assertiveness. I think this is the one that best says what I'm trying to convey. Okay. So we go to it. It says assertiveness is the quality of being self-assured and confident without being aggressive. Okay. And basically that's, not letting them run over you and um, just being this pushover, feminized, soft dude, and even in the Bible, being effeminate is a sin. God says He doesn't like that. He's like, nor the effeminate will make it into heaven. So He wants you to be a real man, not some pushover. And women are a good barometer of how much of a man you are, because if you're in and out of relationships and women just aren't attracted to you, and it's not about looks, you can watch some of my other videos on that. It's the core is assertiveness. Like that's a good all around word that kind of encompasses where I'm going with this. But you have to. You can't back when you know you right and you lined up according when you're saying stuff and leading your family according to what's in the Bible. Don't back down. You shouldn't back down. You should nag that woman until she's quiet, because you're standing on the truth. It's a sin for you to back down when you telling her something right that's biblical. You saw the scripture that I read here. It said, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, he wants you to rule your own house. Okay? And let's read on. Let's continue on with this verse in Ephesians, because it's going to back up more what I'm saying. It says, for the husband is the head. It says, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and He is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject under Christ, and we read the definition for subject, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Okay? And look, this is how women are looking right now. They looking crazy, but thus saith the Lord. This ain't thus saith Mike. This thus saith the Lord. Okay? So it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave Himself for it. And let's go into that. How do you love your wife? Yeah, you treat them nice, everything like that. But how did Christ treat the church? He loved them. He's patient with them. But when they got out of line, He admonished them. He corrected them. And who is the church? Look in the Old Testament. The church is Israel. And when Israel walked astray from Him, He punished them for it. You see what I'm saying? With righteous punishment. And what does righteousness mean? Correct, being right, being in accordance with the law, So, and that, see, and that's the thing that messes a lot of men up. They're going by, and I got a video on that. It's called worldly love versus biblical love. So it's the worldly definition of love versus the biblical definition of love. And what the world calls love is this hairy-fairy gay feeling of, you just got to like me and be nice to me all the time, and it should always feel good. That's the world's definition of love. But the biblical definition of love is the commandments. Like, love is the commandments, is the law, statutes, and commandments of God. That's love. Keeping those commandments is love. And when you think about what they are, it makes sense. You're not going to lie to people. You're not going to steal. You're not going to do this, that, the other. And sometimes doing that, not lying to people and doing that, they're going to get their feelings hurt. But it's love, it's being real, it's being a real person, you know? Um, but let's get back to reading this verse. So it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. So it means, you know, by keeping the word and walking in accordance with the word and being about the word of God, his truth, his law, statutes, commandments, and walking in them is going to cleanse everything. It's going to keep it. You're going to be clean. You're going to be straight, you know? So, so that, I mean, that's why the, the law is perfect if you're walking in that and you're leading your family, your wife and your kids according to that, they'll be safe. They're not going to come into harm and everything, harm's way, and have some painful life and some disastrous marriage. But anyway, you know, back to, so how do you get a woman in check? You know, what it's about is keeping your power as a man and not giving it up. When you know you're right and what you're saying is right, and what you expect of her is right, let her know, and you got to lean on her about it. And I'm not saying be like this one guy. Like they were telling me this story about this one guy at my job, and he was kind of this pushover, soft dude, and the woman was dominating him, and he had just got married to her, and he was talking to these knucklehead dudes at work, and they were like, you know, they were like, hey, he was like, yeah, she doesn't do anything for me now, and you know, I never get any sex, you know, she doesn't give me any, so she's like, I don't know what to do. So the dudes told her, look, tell her, go home, smack her across the face, and say, drop them panties, you know, bitch. So he went home and did that. And then, you know, the next day she divorced him. So don't be like, go from one extreme to another where, all right, Mike said I got to beat him and I got to take over this house. No, you got to explain the stuff and just not give in on it. You got to stand firm on, hey, my role is to lead this family, you know, and lead the family righteously. I mean, don't expect some woman, a woman to follow your lead and you're not a leader. You know what I'm saying? You got to be about this thing. Like, you got to be about that word. You got to know the word. You got to be a real man. You got to have heart. You got to be willing to stand up. A lot of these men out here are just like, I see insecurities that they have to work through. Women are like microscopes when they analyze somebody's, like when they discern a man's spirit or anybody's spirit, man, they can look right in and see stuff. They're just naturally gifted that way. That's why they're so good at raising kids and babies. Like when when my kids were babies, I'd be sitting there holding the child start crying. Oh, what the heck is she crying about? I'm moving my arms back and forth. And my wife be like, oh no, oh no, she's hungry. You know, oh no, she's a little tired. Oh no, it's this. Oh no, it's that. I was like, how in the heck do you know that? You know, because they got that. They can read. Like I said, a woman, she's the barometer of how much of a man you are. So if she disrespecting you all the time and running over you and doing what she want and telling you what to do, she don't have any respect for you. And that's indication you ain't no real man. And you got to work on becoming a man. And part of becoming a man is standing firm when you right. And not, well, I'm going to keep arguing all night, so I'm going to be done. You know, it ain't, that's not what it is. It's holding your ground and not, well, because this is what, well, I mean this and this is what I want. No, this is what you gonna do. Blah, 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 blah. You know, you gotta be a man. It's like, and that's something that has left. It's a rare thing of being a real man and masculinity. And proof of that is once I began to realize, and I took kind of a long, wide path into bringing all this into the truth, but I realized the importance of being a man before I had came into the truth. And so, and I learned it in a more worldly, sinful way, but I still understood the importance of masculinity from some stuff, from things I had learned, from stuff I was studying. And it like women were just drawn to me when I'd start talking to them, and they realized, hey, I wasn't like catering and cowering and trying to impress them or whatever. I was just being a man. I could care less whether they stayed or whether they left. You know, I was just grounded in myself and who I was, and that's an important thing. And the good thing about the Bible is you study it and it's all in there. Now these feminized churches that are out here don't even teach the Bible. They don't let men know this. They cater to women. But you get under some good teaching, search through my YouTube video page. There's a bunch of good videos about becoming a man, what it takes, you know, and about relationships. And that's what you got to do. You got to put in that work and develop yourself and become a man and get a line. And then begin to use that in your home with your wife and show her that, hey, you're a real man. You're going to take the reins and you're going to lead this family. Okay. And and straight up, I'm telling you straight up, it ain't coming easy. It's going to be met with fight. Okay. But you're going to have to man up. I mean, you can't, you know, you're a man. So, I mean, you can't be scared of this. You know, you can't let that scare you and that scare you. To me, that's cute, you know. You can't be scared of that. But I watch dudes, man, they'll fight a bear. You know, they'll fight other dudes, but they won't stand up to that. You know, so that's what it's about. But you got to develop yourself first. And a good place to start, watch my videos. In fact, I have a couple good videos, and I have one that's all the, or not all, but majority of the verses about a man's role and a woman's role, and I kind of go through them and break them all down and everything like that. And you know, majority of my videos about this one core thing, because once you become a real man and you really lead, and you stop buying into what this society is telling you a man is. Like, look at all the commercials. All the commercials are, you know, all the commercials are showing men in these silly roles. All the Disney movies, the man's a goofball. The kid is the one who's powerful, you know. Just, you know, that, and that's the programming everybody's getting. All the talk shows and all that stuff are telling the women, well, you are powerful, you're smart, and you don't need a man. You know, Oprah has done more damage to our race than, I mean, I'll have to do a video on that. But you have to, you know, you have to start with yourself and developing, finding out who you are, your biblical role according to that Bible. And you need to walk in that. And I'm telling you, your rocky marriage will become nice and stable. There's a guy I talked to at my job. He has a wife who dominates him, and it's like literally when you like, because I at first I didn't know what the situation was, and I kind of somehow the conversation turned to his wife, and man, as soon as it turned to his wife, like this dude is. I never saw him really upset, but as soon as it turned to him talking about his wife, I was like, wow, his whole countenance changed. He was just like, yeah, that, and he like anytime that comes up, he has something negative to say. And that's the thing. when it gets that bad, when the woman's just dominating on the man like that, eventually for the man, for him, like he will welcome a chance to cheat on her just to him is getting justified. It's one getting justified, but the other thing, it's like a release and relax to have a woman treat him like a man. That's like, men love that, but it's earned. And see, and the black woman is isn't ain't no kitty cat. She is a lioness, and you gotta be a lion. Like, a black woman is strong. If you look at our history, she was right there with us through all this. And now we're coming in to this time. It's getting even tougher. And I got a good video getting ready to come out talking about it's just going into from slavery all the way up to this day and age, how we've been one plan after another to push us down. Like, if it's not Jim Crow, it's this. If it's not Jim Crow, it's civil rights. If not civil rights, it's this. If it's not that, it's that. It's drugs, it's this. They're always putting something on us to push us down. And this final blow that they've hit us with is like a boom. We're a little dazed, and what's going to end up happening is we're going to come back to this, and then we're going to rise up. But all that to say, our woman, that black woman, has been with us through all this. But now they hit us with homosexuality. Now she's going off with other women, and black men are going off with other men, and black women are going with white men, and black men are going with Chinese and other races. Not because of and a lot of black women think they're running to these people because these women look better. Okay, it ain't got nothing to do with looks. The woman might look half decent, but she respects him. Like Chinese women, they're raised in homes to, hey, you must respect your man. A black woman's gonna make sure you a man. She gonna always check you, because black dudes ain't soft, man. We hard, and they're real sensitive to if you start getting soft. And, a lot of dudes don't know the game. They don't understand. Like, a lot of these dudes who go off with these white women, these other women, they not warriors. They don't feel like fighting. They don't understand what the fight is. They just think, hey, these women is damn crazy. And I know what I'm talking about, because I talk to them all the time. Like, dudes, there's some dudes I bring up, hey, when I used to be out in the clubs, I'd be like, hey, that girl look decent. Like, screw that. Like, I don't mess with them damn sisters, man. Screw them. They get angry about it. And the only thing they will talk to is white girls or some other race. And it's because they don't you got to understand why these black women are the way they are and what it takes to get them right. Okay? And you got to be an unrelenting warrior to get them in line. But you know what? It pays, because once you got a sister behind you linked up, you are set. You got a tigress with a tiger, or a lioness with a lion. You know what I'm saying? The team, and it's tough. It can't be broke, There's nothing better. But our black men, they need to understand, look, first you got to understand why these women are the way they are. And men have failed them because our race is like, it's been shattered, broken apart, And it's a deliberate process, but that's going to be another video. But understand why they are the way they are. Then you need to understand who they need to be. You need to first understand who you are, who you need to be. You need to get there, and then get her there. Whether she says or feels like she likes it or not. Once she's there, she's in her role. She's in that biblical role that she was built and designed for, and then she realizes, hey, I can relax and breathe in this role. And this tiger, this lion, he got it. I ain't gotta worry about this. I ain't gotta worry about that. He's gonna protect us from this. He's gonna protect us from that. You know, but you have to be the leader. And then you have to not back down from what you know to be right. You gotta stand on it and walk on it. And that's the way I am. And majority of people, they saw me in my house or heard my rules, which the stuff I lay out in my house lines up with the Bible. It ain't nothing crazy, but society, Oprah would call me a male chauvinistic pig or something. But my wife is protected. She's safe. You know, a lot of stuff that I desire for her to do is biblical and for her protection, and she knows it. In her heart, she knows, hey, she's with a good God. She can rest and feel safe and relax. And it takes a while for these women. They've come through traumatic experiences, so it takes a while for a woman to finally, you know, let her guard. You know, she like this the whole time because she had to do this her whole life. She got her guard up, and then, okay, well, I'm gonna protect my lower body though, you know. And then finally let them unball them fists and let that guard down. It's gonna take a while, but you gotta walk in this word, and you know, and you know, they'll let their guard down when they know you are a solid rock. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what it's about, and that's how to get. That's what you need to do to get them in check, is understand your role as a man, understand her role as a woman, and start walking in that. And there's gonna be disagreements about it, but it's your job as a man to stick to it and stay in it. You know, and for me, becoming a real man, some of the stuff I had to go through and deal with myself and coming into being a real man, and something that a lot of men have to deal with is lust. Lust is a big thing, getting that, because you're bombarded by it. You know, me particularly, I was addicted to alcohol, and I was addicted to internet porn. And that's majority of men now, because it's everywhere. I had on my YouTube page some page I was subscribed to. It's like a news type page for black people or something like that. But they sent something out about Donald Trump's wife, some video, and you know, the little snippet for the video, some chick with her tits hanging out. So I just unfriended or unsubscribed from that page and deleted that photo off there, because you're being bombarded by this. And this is one of the big weaknesses of men, that it effeminizes them, is this pornography and getting delivered from that. You know, that's a big one. That's men running around on women. A woman ain't gonna respect you if you out there running around on them. They ain't gonna respect you. You know, it's going to always be a fight, and they'll never back down from that one. They'll drive you crazy. So what do you expect? You know, so like I said, it goes back to what I said. First, you have to become the man. All right. First, you have to, you know, you have to be the real deal. You have to get lined up with what's in the Bible. And how do you do that? How do you stick to this even when you don't want to? How do you overcome the spirit of lust and the spirit of being an effeminate, soft man? How you overcome those spirits? You gotta, what I always say, how I got delivered from it, you gotta pray, fast, and seek the Lord. And when I say pray, I'm not talking about these perfect, Catholic prayers where they're doing all this fancy crap. I'm talking about praying in your mind all day. When these spirits are attacking your mind and giving you these lustful thoughts, know that Bible, know how to bring a verse in, and God said blah blah blah, and throw a verse that's specifically like that. I was listening to a good breakdown from ISUBK, General Muhammad. He was breaking down how Jesus, when Satan took him out there in the desert, how and Satan came to him, and he was tempting him with suicide. Hey, jump off this, jump off here. The angels will catch you, And Christ was firing right back at him with with Bible verses that directly countered, Satan's craftiness. That's what these people with depression and all these and lust and these women with unforgiveness and anger spirits in them and all that stuff, it has to be countered with Bible verses, and there's Bible verses that do counter it, and you got to pray in your mind with that and fight it, because it's a battle for your mind. And you got to fast, and not just I fast from food, but also fast from TV, fast from being around certain people. When you take your break, just sit there and read a Bible verse or something instead of going out with the rest of the girls or whatever. But you got to pray, fast, and then seek the Lord. What seeking the Lord is getting in the Bible, studying the Word, watching teachings like mine, and there's other ones on the internet. Just seek it out to get your mind right. It's a battle for your mind. And this is for the man and for the women. But it starts with the man. The man has to man up. And if you're a woman and your man isn't saved and he's not in the truth, then if you take on, like, again, I have that video out there about all the verses pertaining to women and men and their roles. Study that video, and that's how you're supposed to act. And if your man sees you acting like that and sees you being respectful, he's going to be like, well, shoot, let me start studying whatever she's studying. He's going to like that. You win him over that way. There's a Bible verse about that. So, but anyway, yeah, that's how it goes. So the core of this thing is once you're aligned with what's in that word, and who you are as a man, who you're supposed to be. When you're met head on by your wife, stand firm. When it turns into an argument, she nagging you, nag her till she eventually give up. You're a man. You have a drive and a focus that a woman is not. She's not on that level. Like men, I was watching some men are able to focus on one thing more and just go into it and separate from their emotions and tune their emotions out. Women are not on that level. They can't do that. So when it comes to an argument, you're going to win if you stick to it. And I'm not talking about where it's an argument and it's damn near turning violent. If it's getting too bad, you go to plan B. If she's just not backing down, and a lot of them won't back. When it's PMS, they're not going to back down. So they get a pass then. All right. So just stop the argument. But when they won't back down, leave. You need to go. Leave the house. Leave the house for 2 or 3 days and turn your phone off and let everything simmer down and relax. And it's that simple. And I mean, you got to be willing, if you serious about this word here, you got to be willing. Look, if she just ain't complying and ain't going along, end it. If she says, well, I'm leaving, I'm done with you, bye. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't compromise this. Can't compromise the word. And I'm not talking about being in, you got to use righteous judgment and wisdom. I'm not talking about every little tiny thing, you standing firm and not bending. Choose your battles. Use wisdom with this. Read Proverbs, all them verses about wisdom. Is a balance, is a smooth balance to everything. So, but that's the core. That's the key. That's how you handle it. That's what it's about. You stand firm, and if it ain't going nowhere, be out. Separate from them for a while. Let them enjoy loneliness for a little while. That the battle, what you're battling for in your marriage, what you're battling for is important. It's everything. It's why there's a bit high divorce rate, why the families are so jacked up. is everything, and it's where everything is. One of the places the change needs to start, but where the change starts at first is in the mind. You gotta get your mind right first, and that goes for the woman too. And a lot of these women out here, when this is presented to them properly, they they will receive it. It's not gonna be a battle. It's not gonna be a constant war. Like my wife, when she knows it, when this is presented to her, when she hears this stuff, when she heard this stuff, it wasn't a big battle. She saw the logic in it and understood it, you know. But some women, it's just gonna be a battle because a lot of these women, the men aren't men. So now they're trying to change and take back this power that they gave over to her is just ugly, you know. And it's understandably so because you weren't being a man, and the woman had to fill in your shoes on that. So, but yeah, that's the way it is, you know. And you know, I believe. Look, if your wife's dominating you, and you watch this video and begin coming in the truth and all that and become a real man, you deserve a hard, painful battle. You need it, you know, because you shouldn't have been, you know, unfortunately, that's the way we were raised. We were deceived into being that way, but it's good. You know, you like one of the things I always say is being a man is being comfortable with the uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's what being a man is. And I am very comfortable with the uncomfortable, and I like a battle. I'm a warrior. That's why I wear these shirts all the time. Like, this is my water bottle right here. Look, let me get in it. See? This is my water bottle. You know, everything, I make sure everything kind of reminds me that, hey, I'm in a daggone war. I'm in a battle. You know, I'm a soldier, you know. And, you know, look at the name of my, you know, my channel and everything, Spiritual Combat. It's a battle, and it's always in your mind, you know. There's always a war in your mind. And some of the, like, it, one of the worst things is just to be in a battle and not know how to fight it. Like, I struggled with that real hard with pornography. Pornography was one of them. Just being a real man and understanding, trying to understand what women were attracted to. I struggled with that for years, for most of my life, all the way up till I was like 30 something almost, you know? So I know it's one of the worst things to be in a battle and not have your weapons. That's basically what it is, and not knowing how to fight the battle, you know? And I know there's a way to fight every battle, and this Bible has it all in it, you know, of how to fight all these battles out here in a well laid out way. But you just have to get under the right teaching and leadership that will teach it to you. And I'm gonna tell you, excuse me, it's not these churches. These churches are not it. You know, like I said, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. There's a lot of different Hebrew Israelite camps out there. Majority of them are spot on. Of course, some of them are beefing with each other and everything, but majority of them have truth that will change your whole life, you know? So, you know, you just got to go out there and seek it out, you know? But it's a war. It's going to be a war, you know? But, you know, you get used to the battle, and you get comfortable with battle, and you get comfortable with the uncomfortable situations, and your woman will also get in line. You know, she will seek the truth when she sees it exemplified on you, you know. But anyway, I hope this video was informative to you. I'm doing it on Facebook Live right now, and then, you know, I'm gonna post it on Facebook, and I also post it on my YouTube channel, Spiritual Combat YouTube channel. So check that out. I got the Spiritual Combat website also. It's called spiritualcombatnetwork.com. So check that out. And it's kind of, I haven't got it totally up and running. It just basically right now just tells you about my Facebook and my YouTube channel. But if I ever got banned from Facebook and YouTube, you could go there and find me. You know, always have a landing spot for if Facebook and YouTube shoot you down, you know. So you got to have a website there. So anyway, check that out if you get a chance. And my name is Mike, and have a nice day.